Yeah, respect is really high on my list. Man, respect is really high on my list. Respect is really man, respect is really high on my list. Man, respect is really high. Man, respect is really a check is really high on my list. Success is really high on my list. Good sex is really high on my list. And Chanel look really nice on my bitch. I said respect is just a must.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Dope COLEY. This is Late Night with Great White, the first episode 1. I'm here with the one and only, the pioneer himself, Demel Diari, aka Chef Chopo. Say what up to the loaders.
How's everybody going, man? Thank you for having me. What's going on?
Yeah, we're here. I know you for a couple of years now. We've been friends, you know, doing a lot of events. So tell me about yourself, because I know you, but the people don't know you, so tell me about yourself.
Real quick before I get into that, you know you gave me the name Chef Chopo, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yo, you gave me the name Chef Chopo, bro.
You don't even know.
We was doing I remember when I first started like cooking, doing pop-ups, I was at Pure on my man, on Main Street, my man Fly Tie, and then I had you come do some footage for me, and you was like, yo, man, you Chef Chopo, bro.
Okay.
You just said it real quick, like I was cooking in the back. Because remember, I was making tacos at the time.
Yes.
I was making tacos, I was turning it up, that was my thing, Mexican food, and you was like, yo, you Chef Chopo, bro, because I was making the tacos. I was like, damn, that shit is hard. I was like, and I started running with that, and then we did the little Dealer's Kitchen videos. We came to the crib, and we just ran with Chef Chopo after that. So I gotta say thank you for that, my guy, because you came up with that name, man. But
pioneer shit, man. It's my brother for a long time. So if the people don't know, tell them where you from.
So originally, you know what I'm saying, I'm from White Plains by the way of Newburgh, New York. You know, I came out to Newburgh. I'm from there. It's a unique city. I learned a lot from there. Learned how to hustle. Learn how to just go against the grain and make do with less out there, you know what I'm saying? So I started out with having recording studios, throwing little team parties.
Hold on, let's stop right there. You had a recording studio. This is how I met you. I met you. Tell me your first name, how I met you, because I know you as Money First. That's what I call you.
Yes. I had many names out there. I was, listen, people might know me as DJ Jukes. I was a DJ at one point, you know what I'm saying? Money First was the name because I was rapping, I was an artist, you know what I'm saying? I was also just a hustler, man, so it was all about the money first. That was it was more of a lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? And then I had a studio with this guy named Damon Finch at one point. It was called Solid Steps Recording Studio. That was like a legendary like studio at that time that people really don't know about. But it was my first like dabble into like corporate type of business, you know what I'm saying? I was doing that. Then I had like studios in the house that I was doing. Then from there, that transitioned into me opening up a clothing store, you know what I'm saying? Ice Kingdom. That was a legendary store before its time.
Okay. You said first, you did Money First.
Yes, Money First was my first name.
Yep. Money First.
Yes.
And then when you became Demel Diari.
Yes.
Is that a point where you reinvented yourself and came with Ice Kingdom?
Yes, for sure. Because before that, when I was Money First, I was in the streets, man. So I was running around. I was doing what I needed to do out there. You know, it was a unique time in Newburgh. That's when Newburgh was the most violent city in New York State. You know, I was outside, you know what I'm saying? So that was my name. And actually, people gave me that name, you know what I'm saying? Money First, just because of the way I hustled, you know what I'm saying? It really started because I used to go to New York and come back with remember the throwback jerseys was popping?
Facts.
I had all the jerseys, I had all the CDs, I had all the DVDs, and I would just go to all the hustlers and just sell everything I had and get it off. So it was like, yo, you bought your money first, bro. So that's what happened. After the streets, you know, took me and my team, it took us in a certain path in life. You know, it was a lot of like violent things that were happening around our circle. You know, I ended up getting shot, ended up getting in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Let's bring it back. You say you got shot.
Yeah.
Now, when you getting shot, is this when you had Ice Kingdom the store? Explain Ice Kingdom the store before you get into the shot and the whole dilemma.
So before, before it was Ice Kingdom, I had this idea at the time. I was just buying storefronts in Newburgh.
Okay.
So I had about 4 or 5 different storefronts, 6 apartments, like I had a lot of different spaces. So I had this one storefront that me and my friends, when we used to go to New York and like do our little thing, we would always meet in these little juice bars in Washington Heights.
Okay.
So I always had a vision of, well, my partner, his name was C's, he had a vision of like, yo, let's start a juice bar in Newburgh. There's no juice bars.
All right.
So I found this space that was right across the street from what we know now as McDonald's, you know what I mean?
On Broadway.
On Broadway. And we wanted to create it we wanted to make it into a juice bar. Right? So we had the walls blacked out. We was building this juice bar, putting wood floors in there. We were doing everything we needed to transition it into that.
Okay.
In the process, I ended up getting shot inside the space. You know what I'm saying? When that happened, it was in January. I woke up, I was in a coma. I woke up, it was 2 months later, right?
Damn.
Yeah, they were gonna amputate my leg, all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn how to walk again. When I came back, I still had the space. You know what I mean? Because I was paying the landlord ahead of time. So I still had the space. So, you know, my family wanted me to move. It was like, yo, leave that alone, man. Go do something else. But I'm like, nah, I want to change the story around. You know what I'm saying? So from there, while I was recuperating from the house, I really got into fashion. You know what I'm saying? I really got into fashion because I couldn't walk. So I'm just looking at what people's doing, and me being a hustler, you know, I seen the next wave that was like one-of-one vintage gear. You know what I'm saying? This is like before people was really rocking vintage or rocking streetwear. I saw that was gonna be the next thing. So,
Vintage things like, what you're saying, like vintage Prada, vintage
Yeah,
Gucci.
yeah.
So this is the era of, you could say, A$AP Rocky,
A$AP.
vintage Chase,
Yeah.
vintage Chase, Kid Art, and them.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're talking about 2011.
yeah, around
12.
that time. Yeah,
Okay.
Around that time.
That's for people that don't know. We was in the Chance Theater, you know,
Yeah,
what I mean?
bro.
Things like that.
Legendary.
So, okay. You said you had Ice Kingdom. So what can you find in Ice Kingdom, the store? What in the boutique that you had?
So when we opened up Ice Kingdom, we didn't have a lot of connections in the fashion game yet, right? So we couldn't buy things wholesale like, let's say, the mall could.
Yep.
So we could only get one-of-one pieces. So we would go to New York and find our favorite vintage spots and just buy one piece from them,
Okay.
one piece from them. And
Hold on, name some of your spots you would like to go to before you hit
Back
that.
then, Atrium was dope. What else? 4U was a fire hat store that we linked with. We was doing a lot of business with the owners of 4U. We really, honestly, would just try to find the holes in the wall that just had the gems.
One of my spots was Buffalo Exchange.
Buffalo was fire. I remember.
That was mine down in
Yeah.
Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
I like the
Buffalo
Brooklyn
Exchange.
Circus too. So I modeled everything after the Brooklyn Circus. Because the
Okay.
Brooklyn Circus was like, you know, it's black owned. They very like, they got a real nice upscale, sleek type of look. And you've been in my store, it was like ahead of its time. It wasn't like a hole in the wall.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
We had it done really nice.
Painted nice.
Yeah, painted nice, had nice wood fixtures. It had dope knickknacks. It was just really like curated well for its time. That's what made it stand out. So we just used our negative that we didn't have money and made it a positive. So we just flipped it. Like, look, everything is one-on-one in here. You know what I'm saying? People didn't know.
Piece
Yeah,
shop.
pieces.
And if you're a fashion person, I'm a piece shopper. Like any person that buys clothes, they like, I want to have a one-in-one piece. I don't want to have nobody to have this. So I could commend you on that, because if you're a fashion person like myself, you will need a one-in-one piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
what it was.
now you open Ice Kingdom. How long did you open that for?
We had Ice Kingdom for about 7 years or so, right? So like Ice Kingdom, what was unique about Ice Kingdom was, yes, we had the fashion, but it was more about the culture. Because like we linked up with all the dope crews around the time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let me stop you. Let me stop you right
Yes,
there.
sir.
You was dope and say you was dope with the dope crews. You had Ice Kingdom for 7 years.
Yep.
Right? Tell them, because we did a couple of events and things like that. Tell us about what can you find at Ice Kingdom in them 7 years that you were developing your brand.
So
of Ice Kingdom.
Yeah, so way we developed is we had our marketing mix was this. That's when I wanted to really push rap, right? Because it was a whole ecosystem of Ice Kingdom. You could find music there. We had our own fashion. We would create our own custom jewelry. We had our own custom patches. Like how everybody's wearing patches and hats and all that shit today. Like we were like at the forefront of that. Like people weren't doing that at all. You know what I'm saying? We were buying a lot of blanks and just putting our own work on it. So we brought that to the game. We had a lot of art. And then we also were the first, let's say the first people, but in our area, we were really in front of the camera, like making it like reality TV, I would say. Like we had a guy, my boy Wyatt, he was running around filming stuff.
Shout out to Wyatt.
Yeah, shout out to Wyatt. So that was like a spark of when people saw like, all right, people can actually get in front of the camera and do things in real time, right?
Okay, so in that era, you made say, Wyatt, name a couple of people that you could say that were like of that time where Ice Kingdom, you say you got Wyatt, name a couple of artists that you could name.
Mark Quartet.
Okay.
You. Who else was popping around that time? Fly was popping with Envious Society in Poughkeepsie.
Shout out to Fly Wild, my brother.
We had my guys out in Music House out in Middletown. You know what I'm saying? Aura, Teak, all of those guys. Party was coming up around that time. Like just like you and Mark Quartet, Astoria Hill was really like.
I want to give a shout out to GMGS.
GMGS, those are my guys. Tito Montana, yeah, for sure.
Skip Lighty.
Skip Lighty, yup. That was my guy. Skip is still my guy. Like, yo, it was a great time because everybody, so that's what we did. So our marketing mix, and I still think is dope if you utilize this marketing play to this day, is this. We would put out a music video. In the music video, we would advertise our hats in our clothing store. But at the end of the month, we would always do a showcase where we had all the dope local acts perform at the showcase. So now, if you brought 20 people, this person brought 20 people, if everybody brought 20 people, the room would be flooded. We'll have 200 plus people. Movement. Look, all rocking out to our music, right? Like people weren't really bringing stars and shit yet. Like I'm a part of that too, we'll get to that. But it would be 200, 300 people in the room, all at these showcases, but that was like a point of time. And that's how our brand really catapulted because it connected, because we had the show, we had the fashion to go with it, and we had music, you know what I'm saying? That really connected everything together. So that's what Ice Kingdom like really was. It was like a really a melting pot and just a meeting place for all the creatives.
So you said we had the Ice Kingdom. What made you transition from holding your own clothing store to being a chef?
Well, before that, from Ice Kingdom, what happened was I jumped into the art game. So I was like the first person to have art galleries. So I wanted to like open a club, but I was really into art at the time because I remember Newburgh had this art renaissance. So one of my best friend, sister, boyfriend was the person doing all the murals in the city. Dosick, that was my man. So all the dope murals you see, the huge one on South Street. That's part of my team, right?
The ones that got the people on the waterfront.
Yes, the waterfront South Street. So I'm hanging out with Dosick. Dosick's, you know, he's coming to the shop because look, our shop, like I said, was a meeting ground for all the artists, all the fly people. Boom, Dosick gets the grant to do all the murals in the city. So when that happened, it was like a real big art renaissance. So I was like, yo, fuck. Let me open up an art gallery because I had all the graphic designers working with us, doing our branding. So we find a new location. I take the location, a location on Broadway, the bottom of Broadway. I turn that into, actually I'm lying, let me reverse back, sorry. Next door to Ice Kingdom was another clothing store. And the lady was trying to buy our store. So she was communicating to my landlord trying to buy us out. So when I got wind that she was trying to buy me out, I just bought her store instead. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh shit, she's trying to buy my store? I bought her store. And when I took over her store, we just made it an art gallery because I really didn't have nothing to do in the spot. I just was like, damn. Oh man, excuse me.
In the middle of it, we've got to take a 5-minute break. We got to pay some bills. He's a businessman. Hold on.
I'm sorry.